Hi, I'm Sujin, who lives in Korea, and I'm a Korean. And who are you?
Hello, my name is Nick Dye. I come from a place called Oregon. It's in the United States of America. I went to college at the Oregon State University. I am a professional movie critic, been a movie critic for my entire life, and I'm happy to start this adventure doing a movie critic podcast. So,
Okay, thank you for the organized introduction instead of me. So, I would like to start from the introduction of this show. So, why do we start this?
well, I believe we started this because we were both interested in movies, and also because I just think the reason that I'm here is just because I enjoy talking about movies as well, and I just like talking maybe and asking questions. Does that sum up why we're here? Do you have any other reason?
Yeah, actually, well, it's pretty different than what I was thinking though.
Oh, then what are you doing here?
I mean, it's a good answer. It was a good answer, Nick.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, actually, we were gonna share. Are we gonna watch a movie together? Part of week and.
Oh, you wanted to say the rules or the format. The format.
Yeah. Before we start, I'm still working on studying English, so please understand my English. All right. So we're gonna watch a movie together for a week, and I wanted to when I first came up with this idea, I wanted to share our cultures through movies. So we're gonna take turns to watch both American movies and Korean movies, right?
Yep. That's what. Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That's what she said.
Yeah. That is what she said.
So Nick, can you explain the summary of this movie and what we're gonna talk about today?
Yeah. So today we're going to talk about the social dilemma. I don't know the studio that created it, but I know the main creator was a guy called Tristan Harris, and I think he was an ethics advisor at Google, but then he quit and he started his research into why social media and like tech companies how they are basically making money, and I guess I'll get into the summary. Basically, the movie, The Social Dilemma, it's on Netflix, basically examines the ways that social media have been kind of like manipulating people. They've kind of been like rewiring people's brains to like psychologically distort the way that we socialize and the way that we see things, and they also show how like using AI. They're using AI basically to keep our attention on the phones, and basically talks about how the reason that they're doing all this is because like they get more revenue from us being on our phones longer than if we're not on our phones. So basically the whole point of the movie is like the film shows how social media is affecting our lives every day, and how actually there's been kind of a very negative effect effect on society that has come through social media, and a lot of people don't really know about this. The film follows like both a dramatic narrative, like where there's like an actual storyline, and it kind of like clearly shows you what kind of happens usually in like a normal like I guess normal person's life when they grew up using social media and how it kind of affected them. There's that part of the story, and then there's just like a common like documentary kind of style where basically people are just being interviewed, I assume by Tristan, and they're usually like executive people at Google or Facebook or Twitter, and they're talking about like their experiences at Facebook and how things got to kind of where they were today. Yeah, I think that kind of summarizes it. I mean, if you want to watch it more, watch the whole thing, but that's basically the premise.
Yeah, I guess that is good enough. Good enough summary. Yeah. So while I listened to your summary, I kept wondering of the meaning of the title called Social Dilemma. So how do you think about the title?
I think that the social dilemma just talks about maybe like the problem for attention that social media both gives us, and that like there's a pro and a con to using. I mean, there's lots of pros and cons between using social media, and I think that like the reason it's a dilemma is because it's causing us to think differently about each other, and it's causing us to just like think differently in general. Like ever since Facebook and Twitter started using like the like button or the retweet function, I think that people have just started quantifying their own social like IQ on almost a scale like when you post a picture and everyone is just kind of comparing each other at this point for social media likes, the amount of followers you have. And I think that, you know, obviously before social media there wasn't that kind of competition at the scale that it's at right now. So I think that like the social dilemma is like just the problem that social media is bringing by rewiring our brains like this, because our brains aren't meant to deal with this kind of social competition almost. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And your story and actually this title reminds me of the line in the movie where it says we are a social animal. Humans are a social animal, but we are not created to connect about 1 million people around the world. So we're not created to be that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think
that means a social dilemma.
It's part of the dilemma. Yeah, I agree.
We are social, but society is still very dangerous to us these days.
The one thing, I've listened to a couple podcasts by Tristan Harris, and one thing that he like constantly talks about is this like race to the neuron stem in our brain, and these companies are almost all in a race to give us the most amount of satisfaction possible, because obviously the more that we're satisfied, the more that we're going to come back to their platforms, and the more that we're going to basically stay on their platforms. And so he calls it, I think he says the race to the neuron stem or something, whatever gives you like the pleasure stem in your brain. Like it's really weird how the way he phrases it, but like it makes kind of what you're saying.
Yeah, I know this is very boring. It sounds very boring, but you know, I think I already told you that. But when I use my phone and look at it for a very long time, you know, I forgot how time goes very quick, very easily.
Sure.
and
when you keep your head up?
Yeah, and I keep.
Oh, like when you look your head up?
Yeah. Look my head up, then I realized.
Wow.
I mean, I feel something different.
Yeah, you feel like it's almost just like, I can't believe I wasted an hour or 2 hours just scrolling.
I mean, like the way I think became different. Yeah, after looking my head up.
Do you feel more negative?
No, more positive, of course.
After?
Yeah, after. I mean,
really?
after staying away from my.
Oh. So what you're saying is, if you don't use social media like for a day, and you just kept your head up and you didn't like look at your phone a lot, then you feel better than when you were looking at your phone. Yeah, no, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, actually, the feeling, the the changing the feeling is for me very obvious. But the problem is that for me, like the way I think, as I told you, the way I think, I feel like the way I think became different after using my phones a lot.
What do you mean by different? Like, how do you think when you don't use your phone, and how do you think when you do use your phone?
When I use my phone for a long time, and look at it for a long time, then like I'm pretty negative. I mean, I easily get
frustrated.
jumpy.
You're frustrated easily.
Yeah, because there are so many news and issues on the phone, like coronavirus as well.
Sure. Yeah. And just
So,
constantly seeing that negativity, it makes you.
Sure. Yeah. So even though when I didn't look at when I don't look at the very directly negative things, I can read some positive news, but there are always negative comments on even below the positive news. So I can be easily negative, even though when I see positive news or issues.
So one thing I wonder is when you're looking at your phone, you're saying that like you feel negativity from the phone. Do you think that it's everything about the phone? Do you think there are specific apps in your phone that cause you to be more negative when you look at them? Like which apps do you think cause you to be the most negative? I have stats, and I know I don't have actual numbers, but I know which ones are most likely.
Okay, actually not Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really use Instagram, I guess, compared to other people.
Okay. But when you use Instagram,
Yeah.
do you feel mostly positive when you're using it, or do you feel mostly negative?
Actually, I'll say negative, but like, it's not because I read negative news. I want to talk about it later as well, because I think it's in the circumstance in Korea and circumstance in America are pretty different.
Definitely, I think so.
So, I mean, actually, it's when there are so many. I also subscribe and use page
Through Instagram?
Yeah,
or?
through Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram. So, but usually use articles are very sensational and suggestive.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
That's how they get
people
more
like
likes.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Those kind of things. So I can be negative, but it's not the main reason. Actually, there are too many cool people on Instagram. There are too cool.
What is a cool person to you?
Maybe more rich or
Minimum reach?
maybe rich people.
Oh, rich people.
Rich
Okay,
people,
yeah.
or maybe beautiful girls,
Sure. With using filters or whatnot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, yeah. I mean, I don't really get upset about it, but I think I am affected by those kind of things unconsciously. Yeah, because sometimes I found myself comparing myself to others when I use Instagram.
Are there apps on your phone that are beneficial to you? That cause you to be positive?
I mean, what?
Not-
Specifically Instagram or any social media?
Any social app. Do you
Yeah.
think FaceTime? Does that cause you to be?
FaceTime?
Yeah, using FaceTime. That's a
Who's
social
on
app.
FaceTime? Does it count as social app?
Yeah.
It's just
of course.
a messenger app.
No, it's a social app because you're messaging people. Messaging people is a social app.
Really?
I just listened to a podcast with Tristan Harris and Jonathan Haidt. Jonathan Haidt is a researcher at New York University. He studies morality. And he did a study about the apps that cause the most people to be like have positive experiences and have like negative experiences while using the app. At the very top of the list, the most positive app, like on a social level, like a social app, was like FaceTime, Messenger, Mail, like the things that cause you to only speak with people that you know. the apps that cause you to be the most, like, feel the most negative, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Tinder, all the apps that connect you with people who you may not. So, like, I think that the big difference is, just, like, obviously people want to continue talking with friends that they have. Like, that's a positive experience.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with people that, are either unpredictable, or if the apps are designed to cause controversy, obviously that's going to make you feel more negative. That was kind of his conclusion with that kind of study. What do you think about that?
Well, I think I don't have really problems to talk with people that I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I already know.
Sure.
And then, well, maybe I don't know myself that much, so this might be the reason. But I think for me, I like watching and seeing some, sometimes I like seeing the opposite comments with my opinions, like on YouTube or Instagrams.
The opposite comments.
Yeah.
Like you.
Opinion.
Oh yeah, sure.
Opinions,
You like
yeah.
the discourse. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, like it is also pretty. I don't know. It's pretty related to this movie as well. But like, I want people to use. I mean, in the movie, they say people tend to watch and see opinions that matches their opinions. You know what I mean?
People are seeking to find their own opinions and to validate their own opinions. That's called confirmation bias.
Yeah. So they get more biased because they only seek their opinions.
It's not only that they're seeking their own opinions, but because of the like button and because of the algorithms, they're only shown their own opinions.
I know.
That's the problem. That's what the movie talks about.
Right. So, yes, what was your question? Sorry.
My question was just like, do you agree with that Facebook, Instagram, Tinder are more negative apps than FaceTime, Messenger, and Mail, stuff like that? That was the question.
Oh, yeah.
But we can move on.
Yeah.
What was your general opinion about, like, the movie, like, itself? Maybe, like, the story, and maybe, like, the way that they interviewed people, like, what did you think about it?
Yeah, of course, we gotta mention about their editing style. Like they mixed between movies and documentary. I really love the part.
Which part?
The overall part, overall style.
So you liked that they switched from documentary to drama?
Yeah. So if they said only about the theories, then it would be pretty boring. But they show the storylines, so I could get into it
easily visualize.
Yeah. So I could feel how dangerous it is because by seeing the characters' faces and obsession.
Do you think that the characters were realistic? Like, was the acting good?
What do you mean?
Like, do you believe that situations like that happen in real life?
Maybe it could be, but I've never seen those kind of people around me. So, but I believe there must be something like some people like that.
For me, I thought the boy was better than the main character, I guess, was better than the younger girl.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just because that little girl is like the generation before me, and maybe it would affect her more. But I feel like that's a little bit of an overreaction for her. But I mean, I could be wrong.
For her or for the boy?
for the little, like, I'm especially thinking about the
Yeah.
part when, remember when the mom locked
Yeah.
the phone,
Yeah.
and then the girl
So
like,
dramatic.
and then like the girl breaks the glass.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
She
I don't,
even wore the glasses for her eyes and broke.
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. That
It's
was
too
just
dramatic.
that was a little bit dramatic for
Yeah.
me. But like, I do know that in the last 10 years, teen and like basically like younger girl suicides and depression has literally skyrocketed.
Yep.
Like over 50 to 150% higher in the last 10 years, just because they think because of social media and because of just that kind of thing, like you're saying. You see on there, you see pretty girls, and you know they are the ones getting all the good likes, and that really affects, I think, like especially a teenage girls, like going through middle school and high school. So it's like, yeah, I think that was a little bit over dramatic, but I mean, maybe it wasn't. You know, like I haven't experienced any teenage girls in my life.
Yeah.
My sister was always older than me,
Yeah.
and so like I'm not around teenage girls
it's
a lot.
illegal maybe.
yes, I'm trying to avoid that. So maybe that is pretty accurate, but I'm just saying for that part, that was a little over dramatic for me. That was my point.
But it might be overreacting. I agree with that, but I also think there must be those kind of people in the world. You know, as we see, very like extreme-centered people. We can see those kind of people in the news and very dramatic people. Yeah, people who behave dramatic things.
Yeah.
So
sure. No, I'm sure it exists.
Yeah. So they just wanted to show this extreme case.
Maybe. Do you think it's realistic? Like, so, like, I guess who was your favorite character in the drama portion?
In the drama portion? Of course, the oldest girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
The one who was like the voice of reason.
Yeah.
Air quotes.
And she tries to rescue him from the rally. I like the girl, and I think she's the only girl who didn't really use the phone in the show.
Yeah. She's kind of like the.
She always just reads book, and even while her mom was watching to iPad.
Yeah. To me, she seems very hipster-ish, almost like she almost, at least in the beginning, kind of. I think she almost had this like, I'm too cool for social media kind of thing going on.
I mean, did she actually say that?
No. What I'm saying is like that was her kind of persona about social media. Like, you know, she was bringing up the facts at dinner, just like, you know, social media, you shouldn't be on your phone, to the younger one. But like in the end, I think she was definitely like the good, like older sister, looking out for her brother. You know, she would always come up to him and be like, hey, are you going to soccer practice? Or, hey, you want to go out, like, get some lunch? But then the brother was like, nah, you know, I'm dealing with some stuff or doing stuff, you know.
He was getting worried.
Yeah.
So who is your favorite character then?
I would...
Don't say there's no one.
No. There were definitely... I would probably agree with you that that girl was my favorite as well, just because maybe... She is almost just like the heroine of the story. Like she was the one who went to the rally, saved even though they ended up getting busted or whatever. But she went to the. She was always helping her brother, and I liked that. It reminded me of my sister, honestly. That's maybe why.
I thought so.
Yeah, I thought that the boy was kind of dumb, maybe, and maybe it's just again because I'm not as addicted to social media, and I'm not as influenced by social media as I'm sure a lot of people are. But to me, even the guy, like the younger guy, didn't seem as realistic. But maybe that's because even when I was in high school, like social media, it was popular, but it wasn't like it is in that film. Like a lot of people like I think I know that I am a part of the Gen Z
Yeah.
or whatever.
You're Gen Z.
And maybe it's because I wasn't cool in high school.
Maybe.
But I don't remember high school being that bad. Like it felt worse in college. When I got to college, I could feel that what he's kind of experienced in high school much more than when I was in high school. So I think even when I was in high school, it was still kind of transitioning
Yeah.
into that kind of full like one part I remember specifically is like I think they were at the gym or something. It was him and his friend, and they were like talking about something, and then the boy kept getting messages.
Yeah.
And then like at the end they just pan out and both of them are just looking at their phone.
Yeah.
You know, like and neither of them are talking to each other. They're just both on their phone. When I was in high school, that like never happened. I would say, like I never really experienced that. Like,
yeah. Of course, you haven't done that, but like, haven't you ever seen those kind of students?
so what I'm saying is, in college, yes,
But not in high school.
but when I was in high school,
Yeah.
that didn't happen, and you know, and I think that might. I don't know if it's because of where I'm from,
Yeah.
or I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention to it, or it was because maybe it just hadn't really developed in my area yet, you know, but I didn't connect with that as much. But definitely when I've been in college, I've noticed that, and I mean, especially even in Korea, you know, you see it,
Sure.
I see it every day, even when I'm on the bus, like,
Yeah.
you know, like people I can tell are friends, but they're just like sitting there on their phone, or people at
What?
people at cafes. I was checking to make sure that nobody was here.
They
So
wouldn't understand.
they wouldn't even hear me
Yeah.
or understand me. But
Anyway.
anyways, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I digress.
But I think this, you know, as this movie is released only just yet last year or this year.
It was this year.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
earlier this year.
Yeah. That's why, I mean, like you said, that your period was just like a transition.
It was a
period,
transition
yeah,
period,
yeah,
definitely.
period.
And don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, people had Instagram and Facebook. I remember I had one.
Yeah, sure.
But
yeah.
it just wasn't like as big, maybe? I don't know.
You mean when you were in high school or?
When I was in high school,
Yeah,
there
yeah.
was
Yeah,
Instagram
sure.
and Twitter and
It was almost five years ago.
yeah,
years
exactly.
ago,
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, but now, yeah, I think, yeah, you know, when I was younger, then 1 year felt like very big
Sure.
time.
Yeah.
But now it's not big time
Sure,
at all.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's getting shorter. The feeling of the 1 year is getting shorter. So I guess now as the time passes 4 years and everything, things a lot changed.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why the boys look so extreme, too dramatic.
Yeah.
dramatic.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So speaking of which, I want to share the screen time. Our screen time. How much you use
Per
your
day?
phone
Per day?
per day or probably per week? Can you share it? with me?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I would say that I go between 4 to 5 hours a day of my screen time.
Have a check.
Yeah, I have it on my phone. Like today I have 4:48.
Ooh.
But
I'm worthy too. I guess so. 5 hours, 5 minutes.
that's over close.
Yeah.
But I think that just like limiting your screen time, like I think just having like knowing your screen time is different than what you're actually doing during your
Sure.
screen time.
Yeah.
So for me, like
which application do you use the most?
so for me, I've spent over half of my day because I listen to one podcast, and
Cool.
the reason that I have like 4 hours and 48 minutes, I have 2 hours and 20 minutes. That's on YouTube. And the reason was I wasn't looking at my phone the whole time. I just have to have my phone open while I'm listening. So I literally will just have it and I'll put it
Wow.
down. So I guess if you minus that,
You don't really use phone, I guess.
I try not to.
Yeah.
But I don't use it because I feel that addictive nature, and I don't like that. Like,
I know what you mean.
like I try and use Instagram less than an hour per day. Like,
You try not to use more than that.
I physically try not.
Yeah.
If I see myself getting up to like 48 hour or 48 minutes, I'm like, okay, I'm done. You know, really, the only thing that I use Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook is for messaging my friends. And then, you know, now I have another podcast, Nick Die Won't Die. Check it out. I'll post my episodes on that because I want people to, you know, listen in if they want to listen. But otherwise, I have no. I just want to use my phone as a tool. I don't want to use it as just like a boring like filler upper. You know, I want to use my days as much as possible for as productive as possible. So mostly my phone is for listening to music, messaging friends, and you know, I'll look up things, I'll listen to podcasts, watch videos, things that I find productive. I don't find scrolling through Instagram or scrolling through Reddit. I used to love Reddit. I used to scroll through Reddit for hours and hours.
Yeah, you're the one who let me know about it. Yeah, right.
But
Yeah.
I think that was actually kind of contributing to a part of like me not remembering a lot of things because it was just like almost too much information per day, and I was just trying to remember too many things because that's all Reddit is just like new facts, new information, new things, and it's really cool and really interesting, and it sucks you in. But like I want to spend more time on things that I care about and less time on things that are just trivial, that just don't make sense. You know, so yeah, for me, I've definitely, since I've been in Korea this last time, I've tried to convert my phone usage to strictly utility. My phone is a tool, and I want to engage more in my regular life.
Yeah. Then haven't you ever found yourself to be addicted unconsciously to the phone?
I have, yes, but I'm like, I don't want to brag about this, but like, I'm not someone that gets addicted easily. I'm someone that can easily just say, all right, you know, I've been looking at this for a long time. I'm gonna put it down now. I don't want to. I don't, you know. But I know there's a lot of people that aren't like me.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, I know.
And I feel like I'm that way with like almost anything. I can almost just quit anytime I want, which is what anybody would say. Like, that's such a cliche. Like, oh yeah, I'm not an alcoholic. I can quit. You know, it's not like that. Like.
Yeah, but I think my question was kind of wrong. What I wonder was, have you found yourself to be influenced by social media? Because in my case, I totally agree with you, because I think when even I use 5 hours per day, use my phone 5 hours per day. Mostly I use it for finding information through YouTube, like studying English, or like backgrounds about movies or something like that, or when I watch The Office. Yeah. So, yeah, but I thought that, but when I there definitely, it turned out there are definitely some videos I saw unconsciously. Yeah, so I actually recently realized that I'm pretty into Blackpink,
Blackpink.
Yeah, who is
Oh,
a K-pop star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a really big fan of K-pop. I mean, I like K-pop, but I don't really like K-pop idol songs.
Sure. I think that K-pop is what I've learned, especially this time, is there is a very wide variety of K-pops.
Yeah, right. Too variety.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand what you mean when you say there are some K-pop songs that are good. I would agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think Blackpink, they are very cool, but I didn't even notice that I liked them till my friends who is a big fan of Blackpink asked me, "Do you know this song?" And it turned out I know every song of them.
Really?
Yeah, and
just from looking through.
And I thought about the reason, and I think the reason turned out the algorithm keeps recommended, keeps showing their videos.
Probably.
But by only one click that I made way before,
Sure. Yeah.
yeah. So and I didn't even notice that I'm
a fan.
Yeah, it's something that I like. I am the one who liked that, but I didn't.
But it knew it before you.
Yeah,
that's
so
the weird thing.
It feels very weird. So it reminds me. It also reminds me of the line in the movie. You know, the tool, the Triton.
The Triton.
Triton.
Trident.
Yeah, Triton.
Trident, like the three-pronged.
No. Is it his name?
Tristan.
Tristan. Yeah, Tristan. Sorry, Tristan.
If he ever listens.
Yeah. Tristan said like tools should be patient till I use it.
Oh yeah.
It shouldn't require me something.
Sure, yeah. The tool shouldn't act until you act upon it.
Right. But feels like the YouTube algorithm is like, it feels like alive.
It has a mind of its own, because it does.
Yeah, at that point it was where I found myself to be affected by social media consciously. Before that, I always was saying like, oh, I'm not really addicted because I can, like you said, I can quit watching looking through whenever I want.
Yeah.
But I can't help to be this kind of people as well.
So yeah, I don't want to be like calling it really an addiction. Like I want to be careful of the way that I say it. I'm on my phone still for over 4 hours a day. That's a pretty big chunk of my day still, just on the thing. Like, so I don't know I'm not a doctor. I don't know what classifies an addiction. I don't know if I'm addicted or not actually. But what I'm saying was like, I guess that like I am aware of the amount of time or how easy it is to sink into a phone. And I actively try to mitigate the amount of time that I'm on my phone, and I actively try to go out of my way to make my real life experience more fulfilling outside of my phone.
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, definitely. Anything general opinion else about the movie? Oh, how about we can start talking about the implications?
Implication? What is that?
So like the differences. So how do you think that this has affected Korea versus how do you think this has affected the US?
Actually, the reason why I thought the circumstances are different is that we are the only country who has our own platform called Naver.
Yes, I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
So do you think that Naver does things like Google does? Like, not at all.
I mean, what do you mean, what Google?
Like how they store your search history and how they're like giving you recommendations and how they're like using the recommendations to recommend you new things. Do you think that Naver does those same kinds of tricks? Like all the tricks that are talked about in the movie, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. I'm thinking of it. Well, I think they also do because they recommend auto recommendation when
just when you're doing searches?
Yeah, when I try to find something, even before I write something, they recommend some keywords like Google does.
Yeah.
They do, but I don't really think they're like showing some data based on GPS like Google does. But I threw out in the show, in the movie, is that Google shows different data based on depends on location. Right?
Location, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
That's a very bias, of course.
Mhm.
But I don't think the neighbor does that.
As long as you're in Korea.
Yeah, I mean I think compared to the U.S., we're too small to be biased. So we are more likely to have more likely that everyone has similar opinions compared to the U.S.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course there are definitely conflicts, like when it comes to politics. But for me, other than politics, like just overall culture are very similar, very connected.
Yeah. Everybody kind of,
Yeah.
other than like political views,
Yeah.
most people have pretty similar values.
Yeah, so we can, like you said, since we have pretty similar values, and we can easily have sympathy to other peoples who live another part of country cities.
A part of the country.
Yeah.
I definitely agree with you. After being here, like there's much difference between the I guess tension in America right now is like so sharp you can cut it with a knife kind of thing. But in Korea, it's like it's hard for me to tell who's a right-leaning person, who's a left-leaning person. But in America, I mean, if you spend any amount of time there, you instantly know, like, oh, that person is Republican, you know. And then immediately, if you know someone's a Republican, you know that they are anti-abortion. That you know that they're probably pro-gun. They probably like Trump. And, like, so that's what I'm talking about is, like, but if you're on the left or you're a Democrat, you know, you're probably pro-abortion. You're probably, I mean, you're not a fan of Joe Biden, but you're probably a fan of Obama.
Yeah.
You know, you are.
I can imagine.
It's just like it's such a stark difference. But in Korea, yeah, it's hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
Even people's political views. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell.
Yeah.
Like I can guess. Usually the older generation is more right, and usually the younger generation is more left. But like it's just much less divided. And I definitely think that it's because of using cacao and neighbor and
we have very solid bondage. I think the problem of the United States is just between states. But I guess the problem of our country is like between Korea and other countries. It took a lot of time to accept other cultures, like other people from other countries.
Yes, I definitely know what you mean.
It's getting letting up
Definitely,
right now. But it took a lot of time to reach that point.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, because we have very solid culture. We are very bonded each other.
And you guys have been really like screwed over by foreign cultures in the past.
Oh yeah, right.
So I think that like that's just a natural reaction if somebody's a foreigner, you know, that it automatically just brings up bad memories.
Yeah, right.
And that's why I think that like US is kind of an exception for South Korea because that's one of the cultures that has like almost changed your mind about the foreign culture in a way, in a little bit.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, one of my friends has told me that over 80% of Koreans actually are friendly or have positive feelings towards Americans.
Oh, right. But I think that's. But well, in my case, if I would say like that, if I would answer, I have good feelings towards Americans, then maybe the reason would be there is no reason to have negative feelings towards them.
But
like maybe like German or other like Western countries. Like of course we can have, but not of course not China, not Japan though. But yeah, but I agree. I agree that we definitely have good feelings towards Americans.
Okay.
Yeah, because your guys are still helping us maybe financially or like when it comes to army or something like that. So anyway, so neighbor is a big difference.
Yes, I think so too. Are you happy that after watching this movie, like, does it make you feel almost better that Korea has their own kind of thing and Naver isn't as invasive as Google and Facebook and all these things have been?
Yeah.
Does it?
Because, because I can pick just one between Google and Naver. Depends on my mood. It depends on my purpose.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm happy with having Naver. But maybe Naver doesn't like the reason because they want to be like Google. Maybe their final goal is to be like Google.
Maybe, but I think also because I think Koreans are pretty good at keeping their privacy to some extent. I think that Naver will continue to be like it has been. Like I think that Korea was very smart for doing what they did in that like they chose not to go with Google because I don't think they knew that it was going to get like this, but I think that there are probably people who do see this like you, and yeah, like you just said, you're happy that that Korea is almost mainly Naver rather than Google. So now I really don't think that there's any going back. Like I think you guys are pretty hard set on Naver. I think you're probably going to stay with it for a while until maybe Naver joins Google or does that sort of same thing, and
Yeah, but I don't know the direction of Naver, but I think that is definitely a good thing not to be like not
Google.
To be very creepy like Google.
Yeah, sure.
They don't. Yeah, of course. Sometimes they do use AI when they recommend us about music.
Sure. Well, so and that's the thing, like.
They don't make automatic car.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
At some point, though, like technology has to advance. So it's like, does Naver just choose never to use AI, and they choose never to advance? They can't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
They have to at some point start using AI in their technology.
Yeah.
It's just like using it in some sort of ethical way is what you want them to do.
Yeah, but I guess the speed of getting advanced should be kind of lessened. Lower.
Do you think they should intentionally slow it down?
Yeah, like Elon Musk said. I was his talk on YouTube. He said he always concerned about AIs. I mean the influence of AIs towards human. So he has been insisting that the speed should be lower and lessened, but people didn't listen to him. But I agree with him.
See, I don't agree with him, and the reason is because I think that we should start adapting more quickly. Because I think that no matter what, it's going to happen. So, and I don't think that there is a way to possibly slow it down. Like, unless enough people get the support, like, and everyone says that this is a bad thing, and everyone can agree on that. But, like, I think that is more likely than, like, having just, like, the government say, slow it down. At least in America. I don't know, but...
I know. Yeah, I hope so, but I also know it is ideally, because companies always pursue their profits, and they won't stop. Getting their technology at the best.
Sure. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. You can't really like stop that in a company, I think.
Yeah, but I still hope.
Oh, well, sure.
If you can.
Sure. Do you think that the quote social dilemma will be solved in our lifetime?
That's a big question.
Yes. So you think that there will be a completely ethical way for you to go on social media and...
Not completely ethical.
Oh, sure.
But I
like,
guess, I mean, actually the step of this movie are the signals to change in the future.
Hmm.
Yeah, because the fact that we have those kind of people, even though there are very few, means it's like a first shot to change. Like,
first shot, like first opportunity?
yeah.
Flare?
No, gun.
Gun? Like the starting gun?
Yeah, it's starting gun.
Ah, yeah, sure.
How do you call it?
They raised the flag. They were the first ones to do it. Basically, is what you're saying. Like by releasing the movie, they have brought awareness. Now.
And I hope there will be people like us who change our ideas.
Sure.
Yeah. After watching the movie, maybe you thought about like that before you watched the movie though. But I could organize my ideas about social media and the feeling I have felt very in Vegas. The feelings those feelings I could organize those kind of feelings after watching the movie, and like theoretically.
You could make a judgment about it finally. Like you felt like you finally learned more of the facts about what is actually going on when you're scrolling through Instagram, or you felt more like in the know rather than before.
Yeah, I can be aware of myself
Sure.
when I use my phone, and so the movie definitely has a good influence towards people, and after now we have. The world know there are those kind of people who think like that. So people get similar people who have similar opinions can get together, and maybe they can change the world.
On the podcast that Tristan Harris was on, he said that the podcast happened on like October 31st or something, like Halloween. He said in that time, I think it released in September.
Yeah.
So like in the span of 1 month, already like over 50 million households had like on the TV had seen the show.
Ooh,
so
really?
I mean, obviously it reached people here in South Korea. Like, so yeah, what you're saying, I agree with you in that like it's probably just a catalyst almost for starting a movement.
Yeah, before I watched the movie, I felt it definitely had the negative.
Yeah, you can feel the negativity of it, but you don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know, but as the interviewers are experts of social media, they are more trustworthy about their words. So, yeah, now, we already talked about this,
Sure. All right, let's move on to the last thing. Do you have a favorite quote or line from the movie?
Yes, I have, but I didn't...
You want me to say mine first?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. My favorite quote is, it's kind of long, but it's good.
Okay.
We live in a world in which a tree is worth more financially dead than alive. In a world in which a whale is worth more dead than alive. For so long as our economy works in that way, and corporations go unregulated, they're going to continue to destroy trees, to kill whales, to mine the earth, and to continue to pull oil out of the ground. Even though we know it is destroying the planet, and we know that it's going to leave a worse world for future generations. This is short-term thinking based on the religion of profit at all costs, as if somehow magically each corporation acting in its self-interest is going to produce the best result. This has been affecting the environment for some time. What's frightening, and what is hopefully the last straw that will make us wake up as a civilization to how flawed this theory has been in the first place, is to see that now we're the tree, we're the whale. Our attention can be mined. We are more profitable to a corporation if we're spending time staring at a screen, staring at an ad, than if we're spending that time living our life in a rich way. And so we're seeing the results of that. We're seeing corporations using powerful artificial intelligence to outsmart us and figure out how to pull our attention toward the things they want us to look at, rather than the things that are most consistent with our goals and our values and our lives. Justin Rosenstein, former Facebook engineer, creator of the like button.
Perfect reference.
Yep.
So, what made you think that this is this is the most impressive lines?
I really think that this probably just encapsulates the entire movie in, like, you know, it's like I said, it's kind of a long quote, but like it basically says that.
Basically a PG.
Yeah, I know, but I really like it because, you know, for years now, people have been talking about save the trees, you know, and I'm not saying that the Environmental Protection Agency isn't bad and we should protect the environment. That is an important thing. But what I'm saying is, we've been talking about cutting down the trees. We've been talking about stopping them killing endangered animals. People are still doing those things. It's still creating a worse world. But now what he's saying is, like, now we're the ones who are going to become the whale that is being killed, and we are the ones who are being manipulated by the big corporations. Instead of our world, it is now us.
Yeah.
So now
we are the product.
Yeah. So like, this should wake people up to realize, like, oh my god, like, this is actually affecting me now, like, physically and directly. Rather than, like, those other things, people can kind of just, like, write it off because it's like, oh, I've never even seen a whale before. Why would I care about, you know, killing? I'm not one of those people. I support not killing the whales, of course. I'm just saying, like, hopefully this will wake people up to the idea that big corporations should pay up and shouldn't be able to manipulate their environment as much as they can, and as much as they have been doing.
Yeah, you're right.
And do you have a quote?
Oh yeah. I still stuck in your quote.
Oh, sorry.
Because it was too long to catch up, but I understood.
Okay.
My one is there are lots. I mean, it's very simple, but it's confusing. My mind is confusing. I mean, the social media is confusing because it's stimulation. How do you pronounce it?
Stimulation? Oh, simultaneously.
Simultaneously. It's a big word.
Okay, restart.
Okay, mine is the social media is confusing because it's simultaneously a utopia and dystopia at the same time.
And how do you interpret that quote?
Because actually my friend and I talked about an application the other day. Like, the application is collected some information about good restaurants around here. And she said, they definitely has. My friend said they definitely has good natured influence towards society. And I wondered, is it really good influence towards society? Because maybe they can only pick. We can maybe if once we very used to use the application, then we might not see the really good, like, good restaurants to us, not to general people. We might miss the good restaurants to us.
Because you're only seeing what's right around in your area rather than...
Yeah, let it pick your pick restaurant.
Oh, so it automatically picks the restaurant for you?
Yeah.
Within a bunch of restaurants around you?
No. They just collected the information.
And it recommends you to go to the restaurant?
Based on GPS.
Interesting.
It's a good application.
Yeah.
I'll use it.
Sure.
But I don't know. It's really
good intentions or bad.
Yeah, I doubt if it is good intention or because and then the reason is actually it is also it can be a utopia or sometimes dystopia at the same time. Yeah, and so like social media does.
Yeah.
So I need to support.
It makes you feel both euphoria because, you know, you get that reaction and you get the likes, but the outcome of it is more negativity and feeling bad about yourself because you didn't get more likes, you know.
Maybe I sounds like kind of hippie, but like I hope people to find good restaurant by themselves. To just abruptly get into the restaurant randomly and figure out it is good or not.
Sure. I think it would be more rewarding for you to find the restaurant on your own and just randomly stumble upon it rather than having the phone tell you that this is a good restaurant and then you're just going there. You know, it's more special, I think, that you found the restaurant yourself.
I mean, like, actually, I'm fine with finding information about good restaurants on the internet. I'm okay with that, and I'm really good at it.
No, I know.
But like, it's, when once you use the application and you rely on the application when it comes to getting information about it, like then maybe you got limited information, and I know this is too much, but they might be both up some companies and restaurants.
You think the restaurant, maybe if it's like a higher end restaurant or they have more money, then they paid to be at the top.
Yeah.
Sure, that could.
So we could be controlled.
Yeah. It may not even be something that you actually like.
Sure.
They may have just paid more money to be more searchable, I guess, easily searchable.
It's definitely convenient.
Sure.
It's definitely convenient, but I'm not sure it is good of influences toward this or not.
Okay.
It's just convenient.
Yeah, I agree with you.
So I think it's time to wrap up.
Sure. Do you have any last remarks or anything else you enjoyed about the movie?
Actually, I wanted to make our podcast more informative, so I prepared countermeasures.
Sure. So things. Explain what countermeasures are.
Countermeasures are solution to deal with the problem caused by social media.
Sure.
Is it correct?
Yeah, I would say so. Just things you can do if you feel like that it is a problem and you want to do something about it. That's what you're saying.
Alright. And countermeasures that we recommend, I'll explain countermeasures that would be recommended by the interviewees in the movie.
Yeah. So all of this comes from the social dilemma, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yep. Cool.
So the first one, turn off notification or reduce the number of notifications you receive. Second, uninstall social media and use apps that are wasting time. Third, use a search engine that doesn't store search history. Fourth, use browser extensions to block recommendations. Fifth, fact check before sharing. Sixth, obtain sources of information with different perspectives, including sources one might disagree with. 7? Is it 7?
7.
Do not give devices to children in the screen time. 8. Never accept recommended YouTube videos. I'm better at this. And 9. Try to avoid any clickbait. What is clickbait?
Clickbait material means, when you read an article and you read the headline, and maybe the headline is Donald Trump is about to nuke the planet. You're gonna want to click on that because how is he going to want to nuke the planet?
Or to catch our eyes.
Or Kim Jong-un just did something. It was like when everybody said Kim Jong-un died. There was so many clickbait articles about that, even though he didn't really die.
It's fake news.
But the way that they said it was they didn't maybe say that he died. They maybe said like Kim Jong-un died, or so we thought. Like after you click on the article, then the real information comes. That's what clickbait is. It makes you think one thing.
Yeah, totally.
So it's hard to not click on clickbait because it's like almost baiting you. But the way I think to avoid that is just you know, it's maybe fine to click on it, but then if you can see that it's obviously not fact-based, or if you can see the URL, usually, you know, sometimes you can tell that maybe it's not a very credible source.
Yeah.
So just being smart about looking at your sources and checking around from different sources is usually good.
Yeah, we have similar terms of it. So we call it fishing title. Because it's basically
fishing
our
title,
intention.
yeah, sure.
낚시성
Uh-huh.
So, ninth, try to avoid any click-based material. 10th, keep devices out of the bedroom after a certain time. 11th, do not allow social media use until children reach high school. Source by Wikipedia. It's a dilemma.
Sure. And I think you want to be clear. I mean, these are just recommendations. Like, you know, and this is all things recommended on probably the Wikipedia site for the social dilemma. So I think that, you know, obviously you don't have to do any of those, but those are good ways to, I think, maybe be more aware and try and reduce the amount that the algorithms are tracking you.
Yeah, 맞아. Right.
맞아요.
맞아요. 고마워, Nick. Thank you, Nick.
고마워요,
Thank you, Nick,
Sujin.
for the perfect conclusion. So I think this is time to call it a day.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you for having me, Sujin. It was a pleasure.
Me too. Thank you for having me, Nick. It's super honored to be your partner.
Sure.
Amazing. Okay. Hopefully see you next time.
Next time.
Next
Whenever
week, maybe.
whenever next time is. We'll see if it's next week or whenever.
Next week or 2 weeks later.
We'll see.
Sometime.